So tell us a little bit about how things are going over in China. I know you just intercepted a large typhoon over there. How have things been, and what is the situation that you're in right now?
Yeah, there was just a big super typhoon, which means a very, very powerful typhoon in East Asia called Ragasa. And it was actually maxed out as a category 5 on our hurricane scale. And it passed between Taiwan and the Philippines. And then it crashed into China, lost a little strength, but still hit pretty strong. And I was there to kind of document that landfall in China. And it had a pretty big impact. It did quite a bit of damage.
So over there right now, what would you say? How bad was the impacts of the storm to the part of China that you're in?
So when Ragasa struck China, it was equivalent to what we would call a Category 3 hurricane, and it had sort of that level of damage. Now they build stuff pretty solid over here in these areas that get typhoons. So fortunately, not too much structural damage, not too much, but a lot of like bent signs, a lot of down trees, stuff like that. It looks like they got through it pretty well, but some widespread disruptions, I would say.
What number does this make it on your storm intercept list?
So this is the 82nd hurricane or typhoon where I've penetrated the inner core, which is a world record, I might add.
And again, to remind our viewers, you are not just exclusive to American hurricanes. You do this anywhere there's a hurricane in the world.
Exactly. I only about a third of the hurricanes I chase are in the United States. Most of them are outside the United States, in Mexico, in the Philippines, down in Australia, you name it. It's a global phenomenon. Different names for them all over the world, but it's what we call a hurricane.
So tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are for the rest of the Atlantic hurricane season. How do you think we're going to look as we go into the month of October?
I think it's a great question. One thing I've noticed about recent hurricane seasons is that they seem to be, for whatever reason, very backloaded. Like we've had a couple of seasons where they started kind of slow. September was sluggish, and then late September, things started to really pick up, and the season ended with a bang. And I'm sensing that this might be another one of those seasons. And literally, as we're talking, I'm really feeling that because of just how all these storms are now sprouting up. We just had Gabriella category 4. We have Umberto that just formed, and it looks like Imelda is going to form very close to the southeast coast and maybe threaten the Carolinas this weekend. There's a lot going on all of a sudden, and I think we're going to be into a busy phase. So it's just a reminder, September into October, still peak hurricane season, still time to be wary.
And I wanted to ask you too, what are your thoughts on the Gulf and the Caribbean have really not had a lot of storms move over them. So water temperatures are still abnormally warm. There's a lot of ocean heat content. What are your thoughts on if anything gets into those areas?
Oh yeah, I like lose sleep over this. As you pointed out, since there's been nothing in the Gulf, and just for your viewers who don't know this, when a hurricane or tropical storm passes over the ocean, it churns the water, and then when it goes away, the water there is temporarily cool or cooler because the water's been churned. Okay, nothing has churned the Gulf all season, as you pointed out, so it is hot on the surface, and that means it's a powder keg for any kind of hurricane that gets over it. So I'm very concerned. If there's something over the Gulf and the upper air pattern is right, we could have a monster. So we absolutely, absolutely, the fuel is there.
One thing that we always like to talk about here with our viewers is ways to kind of reinforce your home. And of course, with James Hardy, that's a great way to do it. Do you have any tips and little tips for our viewers that could help them out with making sure their home is ready for the next storm?
Yeah, totally. I mean, since you mentioned it, let's talk first about the siding. I look at the siding on my home, and I built just a block from the Gulf, brand new hurricane resistant house. I view the siding as sort of like it's like the house's coat of armor, and I got to make sure I have good armor. And that's why I went with fiber cement because it's durable and it's impact resistant. And I went with the top brand, which is James Hardy. And what I love about it is that not only is it impact resistant, but it's resistant to driving rain, moisture, rot, mold, Termites find it very unappetizing and it's not even combustible. I mean, it's a lot of winds with this stuff and it looks like traditional wood. So that was what I went with. And it gives me that peace of mind of knowing when flying debris is going to hit the house that I have like the best protection that I could get for it. And then, of course, the other two things to really think about is the windows. The windows are the Achilles heel of your house. If flying debris gets in through a window, smashes it, and wind gets in the house, that's going to do a lot of secondary damage. So have impact glass or good shutters. That's what I did. And then, of course, your roof. If your roof stays on, you're going to be okay. If it comes off, it's game over. So make sure it's properly fastened. A lot of roofs rip off when they could have been just with some cheap hardware. They could have been properly attached and stayed on.